Man. So in today's video, we got to talk about Emmanuel Acho, man. And Emmanuel Acho is currently getting exposed for lying about a couple of things, man. And I want to go over that with you guys because this situation is sad with Emmanuel Acho, man. And I want to break everything down. In this situation, if true, it's just sad with Emmanuel Acho, especially because he made the matters even worse. Sitting here trying to get on Twitter and respond to stuff and saying, oh, you know, it's a lie. So you know what happens when you respond to things? People want to start digging into the truth and trying to see what's going on. Because remember, I did a video not too long ago about Emmanuel Acho. He was sitting up here trying to call out Shannon Sharp.
This is an inclusive show.
Absolutely.
Accountability,
absolutely,
responsibility, and reliability. There's another show that used to come on at night. I don't know if they still do because they're not on right now.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? All cap, no night. Oh, so like there's another show.
So in that video, Emmanuel Acho called out Shannon Sharp's podcast. He was sitting up there trying to boast that his podcast is doing better than Shannon Sharp's Nightcap. And, you know, obviously that's not the case. As we can see, you know, Shannon Sharp is even doing live shows, got a Netflix deal, and all of the awards that they won for that show. And I don't even have to sit up here and show you guys that. You guys can go look up that information for yourself. But we all know that's the truth, right? That Nightcap's podcast is better than Emmanuel Acho's podcast. So that brings me to what I have to show you guys about Emmanuel Acho being exposed, because people were coming to my videos like, yo, this guy just got caught for buying the Undisputed account. And I didn't know what people was talking about until Asante Samuel, you know, he's a former NFL player. He has his own podcast and stuff like that. He started calling out Emmanuel Acho as well, especially because Emmanuel Acho has been trying to slander Shedeur Sanders. Even Matt Barnes came out and called out Emmanuel Acho for trying to switch sides with the Shedeur Sanders takes. Let's check out this clip right here.
The media that is trying to jump the bandwagon now, that we're talking all kinds of shit like Emmanuel Acho.
If your talent does not match your distraction, then they will not make room for you.
And some of you other motherfuckers that are trying to do amazing breakdowns now about how good Shedeur is, and we knew this was going to be this, when a month ago you were talking shit and screaming and loud and wrong.
If he wasn't black, I don't think he would have acted like this. You feel me? Because the culturally. But for real though,
yo,
like what white people don't, what white person you know carries himself like Shedeur? Jackson Blair got some swag to him.
So that Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel bravado that they got away with their whole careers, their rah-rah shit is okay because it's them, but let a confident young black man come in with the same confidence, someone who was raised for this, was trained for this, and it's arrogance. So all you motherfuckers, there's probably about 5 of us. Maybe I'll go to the second hand. I'm going to say maybe I didn't see it. Maybe there was 10 of us that have been riding with this Sanders family from the jump, and now that Shedeur is doing this thing, all you punk asses stay on that side you pick, because we're not accepting no new entries. I talked to Dion. He said I can be in charge of the fan club. Fuck all y'all.
So which brings us back to Asante Samuel, because he started calling out Emmanuel Acho for some of his Shedeur Sanders takes. And he was like, yo, Emmanuel Acho buys a platform with millions of followers to force people to listen to his stupidity. He sounds like an educated fool. Emmanuel Acho responded, he said, never bought a platform a day in my life, sir. So you, my friend, or not, are the fool. And Asante Samuel responded, said, yo, okay, did you inherit the platform or what then? And then the Shannon Sharp's burner account is a parody account on Twitter, if you guys don't know, has a lot of viral tweets, and he started showing the replies from the Speakeasy, that's Emmanuel Acho's podcast, and he went on the replies. And as you can see, it's showing reposts from Skip Bayless' account when Skip Bayless was on Undisputed. And as you guys can see in the tweets, look at the dates. That's also important because the Speakeasy podcast was not even around at this time. But as you guys can see, look at the dates, and it's reposting Skip Bayless's tweets when he was going on Undisputed. And yeah, so people was like, okay, this is odd, so let's dig more into what's going on here. And that's where Asante Samuel said, hey, Shannon Sharp, can you help me build my media platform? I'm sorry, let's make up. If you did for Acho, you better do it for me, with a laughing emoji. So more info started getting exposed about the Speakeasy podcast show. As you guys can see, look at the date on this one. It says November 2019. And we know damn well that podcast wasn't around in 2019. So as we can see point blank, that used to be the FS1 Undisputed account. And that's the facts of the facts. So the fact that Emmanuel Acho tried to lie about that and say that they didn't buy it or whatever the case may be, you know, it just goes to show you that he just got brutally exposed for being a liar. And Shannon Sharp even chimed in on it. He responded to Asante Samuel tweet when Asante Samuel said, "Can you help me build my media platform?" Shannon Sharp has said, "Let's talk and let me see what I can do," with laughing emojis. So yeah, man, you know, that's Shannon Sharp chiming in on that. So like I said, man, there's been a lot going on with Emmanuel Acho. You even have a lot of content creators calling him out as well for his takes. And I want to show you guys this viral video, almost at 400,000 views. This guy put out a short video calling out Emmanuel Acho for his takes. Let's check out this clip right here.
Emmanuel Acho is most known for calling Justin Herbert a social media quarterback and was trying to convince the world that Tua was a much better quarterback. It was an absolutely clown take at the time, and after seeing what happened with Tua and just how elite of a quarterback Justin Herbert has become, it is an even worse take now. Eventually, he got fired from Fox due to what we all assume had something to do with the scandal involving Joy Taylor. This led to him creating his own podcast. I can't hate on him for that, or I'd be a massive hypocrite, but it has produced the worst take I think I've ever heard come out of sports media.
If I'm Shador or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What if you won on an NFL level as a head coach? You're not even a head coach on an NFL level. So
if Acho wanted to actually have a good take about Shador, he'd dig back into his bag of tricks and call Shador a social media quarterback. It would be his greatest take of all time because Shador is the definition of a social media quarterback. Social media hype convinced the world he was going to get drafted in the first round. Social media hype convinced the world he was going to be a good NFL quarterback, and he wound up producing the worst statistical season from any quarterback in NFL history. Calling him a social media quarterback would be a good take. Instead, he said Shador Sanders should not respect Todd Monken because he's never been a head coach before. Liam Cohen was never a head coach before this season, and Trevor Lawrence had the best year of his career. Mike McDonald's first head coaching job is with the Seahawks, and he's about to win a Super Bowl. The Browns are going to suck no matter what because they're the Browns, but saying a second-year quarterback shouldn't respect their coach because it's his first head coaching gig is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Let me know what you guys think.
The reason why I want to show that is because Emmanuel Acho just recently called out Stephen A. Smith for his takes.
I love Stephen A.
We all do.
But this take was stupid because the take undermined itself. He said, if you're talking about talent, now that he's won a Super Bowl, I'm going to put him number 3. How you going to say if you're talking about talent, but then use his resume to elevate him? If you're talking about talent, regardless of the Super Bowl, he should have been top 3. You can't say, if we're talking about talent, now that he has an accolade, I'm going to move him above with the talented. So Stephen A's argument was just dumb because his argument cannibalized itself. His argument completely undermined itself. Now, regardless, Sam Darnold is not a top 3 quarterback in the NFC because if you're talking about talent, then you have to go Caleb Williams 1 or 2, Matthew Stafford 1 or 2, and then likely Jordan Love 3. If you're talking about talent, if you're talking about resume, Matthew Stafford number 1, everybody shut up. Jalen Hurts number 2, everybody sit down. And then y'all can fight over number 3. You can say Brock Purdy. You can say Dak Prescott because he's done significantly more in the regular season. You can say Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl. This is off the top of my head. Apologize if I'm omitting a name. But Stephen A's argument was dumb because his argument argued against itself.
So I think Asante Samuel was definitely right on that. When it comes to that flat out line about purchasing, you know, the old FS1 undisputed accounts and stuff like that. It's like, come on, bro. You didn't even have to respond to that. When you respond to it, you gave it light, which now ultimately people and fans and content creators and everybody else, they started digging into what was going on and they put out the truth, man. So, you know, that's why I'm making this video saying that Emmanuel Acho was going outside, man. So I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.